Hey YouTube, it's your favorite mega church cult survivor, Leah Lauder. I'm live, and I'm also live on TikTok, and I'm live on Instagram. And I just hate it when I don't wipe my camera. It just annoys me. So let's do the magic trick. Here I am to clean the camera. All right, let's get into it. So my name's Leah Lauder. I spent 18 years in a mega church cult. I came to the realization that it was a cult during the pandemic. Since then, I've been online. I've been exposing them, their cult tactics and secrets, and how they indoctrinate people through the transcendental belief system to indoctrinate people to keep them in the self-sealing system. So tonight, really what I want to talk about is the cult leader as the malignant narcissistic psychopath, and how we form trauma bonds on a one-on-one level. I think this is important to talk about because I've had a lot of women coming forward. Oh, I knew this was going to happen on YouTube. It's just like, I can't win on here. So do you know what I mean? It's just lopsided. Anyway, I've had a lot of women that have come forward and basically talking about SA, coercion through grape, all of that. And it's a pattern that I've been noticing. Oh, it's just gonna. This is what it is. It's my head looks so lopsided on YouTube. Yeah, no, we're gonna have to sort this out. All right, that's fine. There's been a pattern of women that have come forward, basically talking about grape through coercion, and also there are a lot of pastors and men in leadership positions who have been having affairs with women in these spaces, and so for that reason. I'm going to talk about the malignant narcissistic psychopath. Thank you, Lucia, my love. And then I'm going to be talking about them as how they form the guys, you know what? I just really don't like my hair, and I've got to fix it because it doesn't look good on YouTube. Miss L Rose, are you here? This is better, isn't it, guys? Come on. Yeah, I'm going to do up this. All right. Now I can concentrate. So there has been an influx of women. And since I've started this, and men, because there are some pastors, as you know, that are DL and in the closet. And I have had, at this point, I can say that I've had male escorts that have come forward. And also from dating sites specifically used for the purpose. Hey, Kay, for the purpose of blowing out the back. At this point, I'm not going to be exposing the names of the pastors. I think moving into 2026, that's when I'm just going to start exposing names, having people on. I'm starting up my podcast because I've realized that there isn't really a space specifically for this. And also I need to create the space for myself and us where we can, speak our truth, and a place where people will feel safe and I can hold the space for them. All right. Oh, I just wanted to announce quickly that Cardi B actually reposted me today. It was actually 2 hours ago. I just want to make this announcement before I start going into the word of today. Cardi B did repost your girl. Real recognize real. Oh, and what yeah. Oh, Noah said Cardi. Yeah. Hey, Noah. I just did a little. It was just me messing around to her air thing. The remix of Jeezy. I was literally just in my bed, babe, like just vibing, just with it. She was feeling your girl. She was feeling the vibe. She was feeling the vibe, and the queen, the goat, she, her, reposted your girl. So I just wanted everyone to know that Cardi B has reposted your girl live in the car. Just so everybody knows. All right. Okay, this is where I think I'm starting. So tonight I want to talk about something many of us have lived through in silence. The way men in positions of spiritual authority, pastors, ministers, church leaders can groom and indoctrinate women on a one-to-one, and how that grooming becomes a trauma bond. This isn't about gossip. It's about patterns. Psychological, neurological, and social patterns that hurt people, cause them trauma, and keep them stuck. Please like up the live on TikTok. Lucia, I see you. Thank you very much. If anything I say resonates with you, I will give you, we can explore resources and safe next steps. All right. Curvy vibes in the cart, Faith in the cart, Miss L Rose in the cart. Yeah. Oh, Miss L Rose is saying that we're telepathically connecting. Yes, girl. Guys, let me start off by saying, because I know I haven't been on here for a hot minute, and even though it's been like 2 days, it probably feels like 2 months, yeah, energetically. Guys, I can't give the tea on what's going on. I'll keep it a buck with you. But what I will tell you is over the past week, I have experienced the most shocking exposures about prominent pastors and leaders in the church cults that I discuss. I have been sick into my stomach, and I have been having to process the fact that the EVIL that I thought we were dealing with is now times by 100. Hey, Dana. And this is why I'm saying, do you know what? He has an air hair. I'm not, you know what? I'm not going to feel guilty. I'm not going to feel anything, because I feel like I've done everything in my power to say to people, and this is a PSA to all women. If you know you've got daddy issues, you've had a hyper sexualized past, you've worked in the industry before, you've got that type of trauma. I'm talking about comorbid trauma around SA. Yeah. And all of that, them things there. These spaces, they're not for you, baby girl. So much truth is coming out all around the world. And you know what? Miss Al Rose is absolutely right. And I want to just quickly say that week when I had the survivors out, there was the stuff going on with Pastor Toby. Then we've got this woman calling around with formulas. Then the girls started to do it in the UK. What else has been going on? Mountain of Fire's accounts have been closed. Like every other day, I'm hearing different things. But I have had, like, I don't think people understand. Like, I feel like I'm living in a film. My reality became very surreal over the past week. It's become very surreal. And I'm not going to lie, guys, if I'm struggling with compartmentalizing, breaking down and processing Lemoy in the cup, processing the EVIL of these leaders and these pastors, like, guys, do you think you would be ready for it? Because I was saying to myself the other day, I was like, Ross Clark. What I've been hearing this week, yeah, I said to myself, yeah, this is why it's taken. I think God is hey, cherry pie. There's a flow and there's a speed and there's a pace with this. Because it's like, I think even some people are thinking, why hasn't Leah blown in a certain way yet? It's all divine timing and orchestrated by God. Because it's not even about me blowing. Do you know what I mean? Because I need to be able to handle the success alongside everything that's going on with the survivors, because the survivors are my priority. Do you know what I'm trying to say to you? Like, even if I start doing my singing, or you might see me doing a bit of acting or whatever, like, the survivors and the collective is always going to be my blood clot priority. That's on God. Yeah. So not only am I putting out the content, I'm having to hold the space for these survivors, and I'm an empath. And the hearts of these survivors, oh my God, it's just like, what have they done to deserve this? What did they do to deserve this? It's like these mogs and these EVIL men, they bring people into their BS. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, into their darkness. It's absolutely crazy. So right now where I'm at is, I want to do a little bit around the malignant, narcissistic psychopath, because as I've been speaking to these survivors this week, I've said to myself, no. As I've said, I don't think we're just dealing with the average Joe narcissist. We've established that. The malignant narcissist, we're going to go through what the malignant narcissist is, and then I'm going to break down the difference between the malignant narcissist and then a psychopath, because some of them might be malignant narcissists with psychopathy like traits, and you know, because what I've noticed with the accounts that these survivors have been telling me is that this is just given psychopath, like, it's given the potential for some of these men to be like serial unalivers, because there's just like no empathy. All right, so let's look at what we mean by grooming and trauma bonds. So the GROOMing is a deliberate stepwise process where a perpetrator builds trust, isolates, manipulates, and breaks down boundaries so they can exploit someone sexually, emotionally, or both. So if a mog or a guy in a leadership position, and take what resonates and leave what doesn't, it might be a boyfriend, you might be listening to me, whatever. There is a deliberate, targeted GROOMing process around why they've picked you. And they will make you feel like they trust you, but they don't trust anyone. This is about the sadistic need in them for supply, to feel like they have like not won you over, but deceived you enough to think that they can trust you. They actually get like a thrill. They get turned on by it. Yeah. Trauma bond. So let's look at what a trauma bond is. It's a strong emotional attachment that forms between victim and abuser through cycles of abuse and intermittent reward, affection, apologies, secrecy, making escape extremely difficult. I want to say as well, these pastors and these mogs are extremely wealthy. And in some cases, it's not just like they're blowing out the back. In some cases, these men have formed trauma bond relationships and almost made these women feel like a second wife, where they've been providing for these women in such a way where leaving the man, it wouldn't only mean that they'd have to process the trauma and unpack like all of the ABUSE that's happened to them. It also means that there's a certain support financially and security that these men provide, especially with the trauma bonds. Another pattern that I've noticed is that these are women with father wounds. So when they come in and they create this trauma bond, they make the women feel safe. Another thing that these malignant narcissistic psychopaths will do is they will be, it's like they're listeners, good listeners. So they will have you there talking and talking and talking, because they don't process things in the same way. So they get a kick out of thinking that you actually think that they care about what you're saying. All that they do is they use what you tell them to build intel around you, to use it to be able to emotionally manipulate you and maintain control over you. So that's the only reason a malignant narcissistic psychopath will want you there talking. Yeah. Also, with the married element of it, what you need to remember is these married men, they take on like personalities and bits of like their wife, also because the wives usually mother them a lot. They're like very like organized, like well put together, and because they're mothered. So when the abuser is a pastor or married man, grooming is layered with spiritual authority, social power, taboo, and additional secrecy, intensifying shame and cognitive dissonance. So women that are in this situation, and again, guys, do you see that there's a layer? Because there's the spiritual authority, and that gives him access, like 24-hour access to these women. Just even the way that he's able, like, what woman is going to say no to the daddy of the house, to the cult leader, the great almighty prophet? If he turns up at a gal's house at 12, 11 in the night, they're not going to say no, guys. So again, it's that spiritual authority and then the abuse of power. Why pastors and what leaders have structural advantages for one-to-one grooming. I really hope I've got this in the right order, chair. Yeah, I have. They're not just individuals, they occupy roles. That role gives them tools and cover. The cover is, do you know what I mean? Like this community, wholesome, man of God, that's hair to, he's given his life, he's sacrificed everything. Do you get what I'm saying? To serve the Lord. It's all a cover because they're sinister. They live like completely different. They live like double lives. They have like full-on girlfriends. They have full-on girlfriends. They have like wives and stuff at home, and they go and they preach and stuff, and they've got full-on girlfriends that they get so freaky with. Like, guys, like the details of the way that these guys are with their mistresses, yeah, and their girlfriends is absolutely crazy. Like, I'm actually shocked the things that these religious men are into. When it comes out, it's gonna be crazy. You see when the gal them start coming out, chair, the mistresses, and like they call them side pieces, but these men get like They use these women as a supply source for absolutely everything. You see, ladies, listen to me and listen to me well. Remember I said to you that the currency of the universe is energy, yeah? Your time equals money. It's your energy, yeah? Now, remember I said to you that women have this power, like of seduction, femininity, etc. I've completely lost my train of thought. I was getting to such a good thing, guys, and I've lost it. What was I saying? You know me, I'm so honest. I just lost my train of thought. Maybe I'm not supposed to say it. If someone can remind me what I was saying, then it will be meant to be. I was thinking about it. Do you think the government does enough about these kind of churches? Absolutely not. Noah, they don't care. They don't care, Noah. Like, do you know what I mean? Majority of these cults that we're talking about, they're not all BLK people, but the ones that we're talking about that are doing up the most damage, they're mainly BLK church cults in deprived neighborhoods, babe, in the ghetto. They've like friggin' cut all the services, the youth services and whatever. Do you know what I mean? They don't care. You were saying about women. I know, but I don't know what point I was getting to, what I was saying before that. I know, I don't know what point I was getting to. You were saying about transfer of energy. Women have special energy. Time and energy are precious, and that's how they're exploited. Yeah, I was talking about the time and energy, innit? Oh, yeah. Thanks, Noah. So if you're dating or you're seeing a wealthy man, yeah, he will invest in you a lot, like monetarily wise. Yeah, he'll invest in you like money wise. But then as a woman, you'll invest in him emotionally. Like you'll make him feel like, remember I told you about that rich ninja that I was dealing with? And it's like, by the time he'd come out, I'd make him feel like he was on cloud nine. He's coming on bed sheets, freshly, you know, like sprayed, like perfumed, sprayed. The aroma, I've got all my candles, incense burning. I've got everything. I'm running bars for this ninja. Do you know what I mean? Like with rose petals in it, like massaging him up. I was massaging him up. Then I would cream him. Are you all right? And then give him the best time he's ever had. So it's like I weren't seeing it as anything. This is like a standard, isn't it? Like this is what I do. This is how I am. Like blah blah. But I didn't realize that as a result of that, it's like whatever I got going on, it's rubbing off on him. So now he's starting to look better, dress better, be happier. And if you look at it from the dynamic of women that are dealing with, if you're dealing with a married man, yeah, think of it logically. If he's really unhappy in that marriage, it's not working, like and then he's using you as a supply to siphon all of your energy, your youth, whatever, even if it's schmegs. Do you know what I mean? Because he's not happy in his marriage, whatever. You need to understand that you're enabling it. Do you get what I mean? Because like it's like he's got his wife and he's chosen her to be the servant and the slave and do everything and whatever. And then you're there and you're providing, you're making all of his fantasies and whatever come true. So my advice and transferring his NRG, I don't know what that means, but guys, maybe you know that acronym. But with and yeah, I think what I'm going to say to what Lucia said is there's also the spiritual transference. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Energetically wise, that's another thing as well. If it's not like working in the marriage, or let's say that they're both like low vibrational and that's why their marriage isn't working, like this, that, and the third, they can be siphoning your energy to help them like deal with the marriage. So if you really do want the man, the best thing you can do is pull back and leave him. Hey, Layla, that's the best thing that you can do. Because when you're blowing out his back and doing all of the things that the wife is not providing, hey my love, you're enabling it, because now he's having his cake and eating it too. Why would he leave her? Why would he ever? So when you remove yourself from that situation, then you can really see what he's about, because now you've given him the freedom to make a choice. So now when you're not giving him that supply, how does he move? What does he do? Because a lot of them will love to say as well, oh, they're going to leave their wife. This is what they've been telling gal. They make them believe that they're going to leave the wife. These pastors basically tell them that it's just like, it's like a show. It's just for, and I did say this to you guys before. Hey, UK Clout Room. I did tell you guys before that I did UK clout. If there's anything that I say, yeah, that you can use, because I know last time I got upset with you, screenshot. You can screenshot, because I'm talking about the pastors that are women have come forward, the mistresses, the girlfriends, the side pieces, whatever you want to call it. They've started coming forward now and exposing up pastors. They were coming forward before, but now they're coming forward in a different way. Like it's like they've had enough. Do you know what I mean? Like they do want to expose these men. So that's just where we're at the moment. So 2026, we will be seeing a major exposure. These mogs and that, they're getting exposed, share. I don't remember what I was saying, but the long and short of it is, guys, do not think when these men are like providing for you financially, they're taking a lot more from you spiritually and energetically. So protect yourself spiritually, whatever that looks like, go within jail. And understand, you need to understand the beast that you're dealing with. Because obviously, when we're dealing with a narcissist, thanks, Layla, appreciate you, babe. When we're dealing with a narcissist, the obvious is that you're supposed to go no contact. But you got to think about people that can't go no contact. Because I'm not going to lie, if I was in a position where my man's paying all my bills and some, I'm not going to be doing up no contact. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to be doing up no contact. And I get it. I get why the gal them are still sleeping with them and whatnot, because they don't human fecal matter on these wives. I keep telling you guys, these men them are out there blowing out backs of women using nothing. Yeah. Remember I told you about that girl that was sleeping with the married man, and I told you that she had chlamydia. Do you remember? And that guy was there. He was doing with nothing, and then he would go back into the house. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like to the wife, like guys, it's so like now I'm so glad that there's so much discourse around, like, you know, like having a boyfriend is embarrassing, and, you know, women are waking up, and, you know, especially like the older generations are seeing the truth of things. And do you know what I mean? Because it's been so bad. Like we've been indoctrinated. They lied to us. And they made us believe that like marriage was a really good thing. And so many people like myself, I got married at 25 years old. Married and pregnant at 25 years old. I ruined my life. I then had to take on a man child. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, it was just, oh God, that was the worst decision. So that's why I think, I don't even think I understand the entirety of why I do this. And I do care about young girls. I'm not going to lie, because I don't want them to make the same mistakes as me. I really don't want them to waste their life. I really, really don't. Like, you get married so young, and then once you're in it, you're in it. That's it, man. There's not. That's why you see the gal, yeah, when they get married young, look at how washed up they look. By the time they're 30, oh my God, do you know what? I'm so glad that the Lord took me out of there, man. I can't even lie to you. Because, guys, could you imagine how I'd be looking at nearly 40 years old in there? Oh my God. Oh my God. That investment is to get the loyalty of the woman, to get her to accept and do things that money cannot usually buy. Woo! Oh my God. This is why I love when I got a king on here. I'm going to repeat that. Noah on YouTube has said the investment is to get the loyalty of the woman. This is a masculine perspective. To get her to accept and do things that money cannot usually buy. I didn't even clock that. I'm just taking a screenshot, Noah, because that's really profound. And this is why I love when I have kings on here that speak sense, because it helps us to deconstruct from the masculine lens. So he's providing for this woman financially, and then she's providing, as you said, that's how he's gaining her loyalty. That's how he gains the loyalty, through buying the woman. And then in turn, she does things that money can't buy. So it may be letting down your guard, letting down your boundaries. You have, because it's not going to be money with you. So because remember, we're not dealing with your average Joe. We're not dealing with, because listen, dealing with your average Joe, narcissistic rich man, that's like what everybody deals with. Narcissistic rich men, we deal with them on a day-to-day in different environments, work, outside. The malignant narcissistic psychopath is completely different. And we can see here, as Noah said, the money, like when they're providing and they're like paying for the girl. Imagine now with these women that have come forward that have got the father wounds. These men are so EVIL. And another thing that I want to tell you is they're aware of the women's backgrounds. Like, and one thing that they like to do is they like single mums. They like young single mums. Remember, I've told you this. Out of all of the women in these spaces, the ones that are exploited the most are young single mums. Remember, I told you they already got their yard. A lot of them are like getting benefits, so stuff's getting paid for them. Da, 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 da. And do you know what the pastors do? They come and blow out the backs of the women, yam out their food, use their electricity, go to shower before they leave to go back into their marital bed. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And ain't giving these gal them not a penny. They're not giving these gal them a penny. They're not giving them nothing to put in their fridge. And they know that the gal them have kids. They just come and blow out the back. Layla, they're just coming and blowing out the back and giving false, empty promises. False, empty promises. So you've got the ones who are providing the every need kind of a bit more higher up, like the mega church cult pastors. We're talking more about money now, to silence the women, to build the loyalty, to make them dependent, codependent, because codependency is not just about, because for some of the women, it's not the emotional, psychological dependency, it's the codependency through financial control. And what just came to my head, which I think I'm just going to talk about quickly, so bear with me, guys, because this is going to be a very hyper-focused live, where I'm going to be really doing this live, you know, for the women that are in this situation. And I think with most women, you know, we've kind of been through, you know, we've all experienced a narcissist. All right. So when we look at the dynamics of power and control, yeah, when it's done on a one-to-one intimate partner violence lens, yeah, we look at the power and control wheel. And what it basically explores is how physical and sexual violence happen across this this wheel. Yeah, so it's got power and control in the middle, and then it's got use and intimidation. So making her afraid by using looks, actions, gesture. This can also be like, if they're a provider and they're providing a lot of money, like the threat of them not doing things in a certain way and, you know, controlling your actions and behavior. It may not even be aggressively. It could be through a smile. Killing me softly with his words. Killing me softly with his song. Telling my whole life. You get me? It's like that. Using emotional abuse, so putting her down, making her feel bad about herself, calling her names, making her think she's crazy, mind games. The mind games could be that they're a pathological liar and they've lied to you about every single detail. So here you are thinking that you've fallen in love and ridden off into the sunset and find out he's married. Yeah. So that's a form, I think, of emotional abuse and intimidation, and also isolation and information control. Because remember, these pastors and mugs, they won't do it like your ordinary Joey blogs, bog standard. You know, he's going to be using the cult tactics. Because remember, he's a professional finesser. He's a professional. He is versed in psychology. Do you understand what I'm saying? In reading body language, your every single move, he is, you know, watching and focusing and studying. So using emotion, oh, I've said that already. Using isolation, controlling what she does, who she sees, what she thinks, what she reads. So if a married man is making you believe that he's fallen in love with you and he's actually going to leave his wife, baby girl, he's never going to leave his wife. Why is he going to leave a woman that's a Irvin and a Lave, that goes to work while he's out there blowing out the backs of other women? So she does 50-50. She's an Irvin, she's a Lave. She's got low self-esteem. She doesn't love herself. She puts him first and all the kids, and she looks it. We can tell that she's a maid because she looks like a maid. All right. So he is going to have to spend 0 pence on her. He spends 0 pence on her, and she looks at MESS. So what that allows him to do is go and spend all of his extra change on the mistress and the so-called side chicks. All right. So he will never leave his wife because he's a narcissist. He cares about himself. He wants to be able to have his cake and eat it too. This is a woman who's a doormat. She cooks him food. She knows he's he's out there doing whatever. But she allows, she'll wear AVUSE as the crown. And you see, my darling, it's not about you, and it's not even about the wife. Don't feel so special, wives, single married wives, because it's all about the man. It always has been, you see. That's why us moving into matriarchy and the women waking up and going back into their power, what we've done is united as a collective feminine. And we're healing the wounds of the oppression and the suppression and the deleting of our history and our worth, etc. Okay. So it's deep. It's very, very deep. Tally in the car. Hey, girl. It's very, very deep. Tally, I need to get back to you, but girl, it's been so crazy. Like the women have started coming forward, the mistresses and the girlfriends and stuff. They've started coming forward. So it's been crazy, girl. You know when the divine femmes start coming through, girl, you know how it gets. Woo, child. We've got minimizing, denying, and blaming. Because I really do. I would love to meet up and go for a coffee. And do you know what I mean? Making light of the abuse and not taking her concerns about it seriously. Saying the abuse didn't happen, shifting responsibility, abusive behavior, like saying she caused it, etc. Thank you, my love. And remember, they can do this in the reverse, because remember, they can killing me softly with his song, killing me softly. So it could be in the reverse, trying to take up your time, being an energetic blockage for certain men to come through and even court you, and let me tell you, the church cult will blacklist you. You see the women that where the pastors, all right, my lovely, I will. Thank you, darling. Even the pastors, yeah, guys, I'm telling you, it's so mad. The like the head pastors or whatever, they'll tell men that are interested in the women that they shouldn't marry them. They shouldn't have an interest in them. They will be telling them like they've slept with the pastors. They run they drag their name through the mud. They talk about them from the pulpit. They break them down psychologically. There's been women, single mothers, who have been left to raise their kids like under 5 years old with no support, left by themselves. There are women that have been struggling to get up in the morning to dress themselves, put clothes on their back to take their youth to school, you know. And they have to go. There's women that have been used and abused by pastors, their backs blown out, had to have terminations, everything, yeah. And then they've had to go to church, continue going to church and seeing this man get engaged to another woman, get married to her and move on. There are women that have been so psychologically damaged and brainwashed that after the pastor abusing them and blowing out their back, eating out of the great bowl, out of coercive control, pastors like Bishop Richard Aye have brainwashed women and coerced them to believe that they're a Jezebel and Delilah when the pastor's eating out of the great bowl because he's abused his trusted position. And it doesn't matter what dynamic that is. If he is a pastor or a mog and he's got that leadership position in the community, whether that's inside those four walls or outside of those four walls, those responsibilities and duty of care do rest upon that individual in a trusted position, because they will come across people from all different walks of life. And they're saying that they're going into the highways and the byways. So they like going to the clubs and this and that and going and getting the people that are unsaved, apparently. But my issue is, what if this pastor's an undercover schmegs addict or on the DL or whatever? And then he's going to the club to get these gal them that are vulnerable. 1 second, guys. Hi, my lovely. I'm just live. I'm live right now. No, it's all right. Can I call you after? Give me about half an hour. But come on, watch the live, my love, if you can. And then I'll call you after. All right, Queen. Bye. I'm very friendly with the mistresses and the women that the pastors are using and abusing. You know, the women that they've been using as schmeglaves within this environment. You know, we're on a phone basis. You know, I will be meeting up. I will be speaking to these women. As I said to you, these porters are getting exposed. And I just want to say to all the women that have come forward over the past 2 weeks, I want to let you know that I am so, so grateful. You have showed so much courage and so much bravery. And, you know, guys, again, you know, you may never, yeah, their faces may never be seen and their voices may never be heard. But I'll tell you one thing, these are women that don't even see themselves as having just such this beautiful heart where they would risk putting so much on the line to protect and safeguard other women. And I just think that's absolutely beautiful. All right. So another one, when we look at the power and control wheel and how they assert control over the women, is male privilege. So treating her like a Irvin, making all the big decisions, acting like the master of the castle, being the one to define men and women's roles. So really taking over and having full control. And that, guys, it may not be in like it may be in a schmegs way. Do you understand, where you see that dominance, you see that control? Some of the women have said that some of the experiences with these mogs it's been like really rough schmegs. Remember I told you about that girl that he's now a pastor. Back then he was a leader, where he was sleeping with several women in the church cult, actually, and had these women's heads so mad up and indoctrinated to the point where he would take out his frustration on the woman and tell her that she's a sinner and she's this and that, a Jezebel, especially after they had schmegs. And then he booted off her door and then came into the house and proceeded to have quite rough, you know what. So there was another case that I wanted to use as well. Oh yeah, there was another case with a guy he's been physically abuse to a girl, and he's a pastor in a church cult, and he has been putting hands on this woman, and he's also been intimate with her, and after intimacy he forces her to pray, and he will be like on his knees forcing her to pray, and then he will break her down and say that he's caused her to sin. She's the Jezebel, this, that, and the third, and get quite angry, and at times will put hands on her. This is what I've been dealing with over the past couple of weeks and trying to really process this and understand why. Oh, my whole thing's frozen. YouTube, is it freezing? Miss L Rose, this is you know what I'm giving you is the PG version. Miss L Rose said these people are SICK. I'm giving you lot that this is the PG watered down version. This isn't nothing. I'm skimming the surface. This is why I'm saying it's not safe. Yeah, it is. She said it's eaten out of the grape. It is. Occasionally it freezes, but for not long. All right. Hey, Els, they're just in there. Oh, Cardi B reposted the one of me, the every time remix. I was just popping it. You get me? You know me, Els. You get me? Just vibing. Cardi was feeling it. Real recognized, real. She reposted your girl up. That's all I can say. You know me, I'm humble. So I ain't really been chatting about it too much. But yeah, the queen, the goat, Cardi B has reposted your girl. Yeah, that's what happened today, about 3 hours ago. So using coercion and threats as well. Guys, this can be coercive control as well, where they threaten like, because guys, I need you to understand with all of these pastors, these leaders, whatever, there's a financial element of it attached to it. There's a financial element of it attached to it. So like these guys are giving these gal them their whole paycheck. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? These man them are giving these gal them racks on racks. Are you hearing what I'm saying? Even the ones that aren't mega church pastors that are they just have bog standard 9-to-5 jobs. Because you got to remember, the gal them that they have access to, the so-called strange women, the Jezebel, the whatever, these man them would never get a gal to look upon them. Not for 2 minutes. So as I said to you, when the baddies come in here, these church cult nerds, they can't get a gal like that. And a lot of them are neurodivergent as well. So they don't really have like skills in like, you know, like they ain't got that thing like to like date and court, and they ain't got that source. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when they get a girl, and remember, like neurodivergent men, they don't really like change. They like the same routine, to do the same thing with the same person. And a lot of these men are neurodivergent and DL. I'll tell you that for free. All right. And this is what the women are saying, because actually the things that they're exploring behind the scenes is giving DL, and also the schmegs addictions, because there's girls that are finding out about other girls as well. Guys, it's just a mess right now. It's just like it's an absolute mess. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, these guys have been living complete double lives, and a lot of realizations and truths are coming out. Did you not see that video of that woman, of that South African pastor, and she came into the service and she exposed the pastor? She said, "I'm pregnant with your baby." She came in big belly, you know. I think that was this year. All right. So let's look at why pastors and church leaders have structural advantages. Wait, have I gone through? Okay, all right. Why pastors and church leaders have structural advantages for one-to-one grooming. Pastors aren't just individuals, they occupy roles. That role gives them tools and cover. Moral and spiritual authority. People expect moral integrity from the clergy. This trust lowers suspicion and resistance. So people like this are very dangerous individuals because they're moving in plain sight and they have access to vulnerable young women 24 hours a day. Scriptural plausibility. Abusers can fake spiritual language to justify control, e.g. you need a spiritual covering, this is God's will, or private counseling framed as destiny. And through the private counseling and the prophetic and whatever, that's usually how, when they get the women alone, they start to essay them. Another thing that they do, that the survivors have told me of essay and Grape, they've said that through the counseling sessions, that's like where they've gathered the intel. They've started to hear about the girls' backgrounds and stuff like that. And then the women that have struggled with hypersexuality in the past, being raped, like things like that, they create a set of fake safe space for them where they feel like they can tell them, and then they take complete advantage and start to move to the woman and start to begin this very intimate relationship that forms a trauma bond. So the women, it will feel like, trauma bonds feel like you're in love with the man. And with a trauma bond, you will feel like you've never loved a man like this, like you know, a man's never treated you this good. And then if you've got the extra layer of the father wounds and your dad hasn't really showed up for you like that, and then you get a pastor that's impersonating being genuine, they're listeners. That's what their job is, to make people feel good, like to finesse them, to lie, to have them in the cut. Do you get what I'm saying? So when they do it and they take it outside of the environment, it becomes very dangerous. Because remember, I told you, these pastors, these guys are in the shisha clubs, they're in the bars, they're in the posh restaurants, they're in the scene. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're outside in these streets. That's what I keep telling you. Lot, like when I came out of the church, remember, I was outside, babes. I was dealing, all the Nigerian men that I was dealing with, they were either leaders in the church. And I found it quite funny dealing with them as well, because it made me feel powerful. It made me feel like I had a one up on these human fecal matter people that are doing up church cults. It's like, babe, I'm here like finessing your cult leader and getting my back blown out by your when I'm ready to share it, I will share it. But I was messing with a church leader from Redeemed. So when I'm ready to share it, I will. I've just been processing it all. So your girl's had her time. I've had my time getting my back blown out. Do you know what I'm saying? By the church leader. So we will be discussing it, Chair. And when I'm ready, I'm going to be exposing it up. And again, he was seen as civil. I don't want to say too much anyway, because I need to heal from it completely. I need to I won't be using names because I am just going to give him that little bit of grace. But you know, so they do it outside, guys. I was a girl in the clubs. I was the girl outside in these streets. I was not attending Redeemed. Do you understand what I'm saying? And it was so crazy because I don't know how I did it, because he was exactly like a pastor. He used to talk like a pastor. It is well, like do all of that. But my man was outside in these streets, Chair. He was in the clubs. He was in the shisha bars. He was everywhere everywhere but church. Everywhere but blood clot church, Chair. And I used to call him, my nickname for him was Mr. Consistent, because he used to be like, if it's church he's doing, he's got to do that every single Sunday without a fail, like 1 p.m. every single Sunday. But they're very sly. Anyway, I will share in due time. I'm just not ready yet, guys. There's parts of the story I'm not saying and things like that. But as the time goes on, I will say it. But these guys, oh my God. It's like a mask. They're like two-faced, you know, like the Gemini placement. You know, the Geminis, like they got two faces, man. Access and privacy. Pastors get private meetings, pastoral counseling, house visits, late calls, prime grooming opportunities. So if you're watching me and you know that you're dealing with a pastor or you're dealing with a church leader or whatever, you know, there are other vulnerable women that are their lives are being put at risk. I need you to understand, especially if you're dealing with a pastor or a monk or a leader from the church cult that I was attending. I've already told you, it's like it's a schmegs cult. Like the women are getting used as schmeg slaves. Like everyone's sleeping with everyone in their chair. Like Bishop Saki, who is like second in commando from Dag Heward Mills. He started the church cult. It was Dag Heward Mills, Bishop Saki, and Bishop E.A.T. Saki, and Bishop Addy. Bishop E.A.T. Saki is a dirty old man. He was blowing out the back of a bishop's wife. And when they brought back the DNA test, all three of the children were Bishop E.A.T. Saki's, allegedly. Bishop E.A.T. Saki has been blowing out the back of Ida LP. She's a bishop now, allegedly, which is the girl, the TSA, because they have talented solo artists in the cult, yeah. So it's the woman who comes on and sings. So she might come on and, you are my fortress, you are my strength. But they spend a lot of time with the pastor. They travel with them because they sing before they minister. So that's Dag's girl. I wouldn't put it past Dag to be blowing out Ida's back, but I'm not saying that's true because I haven't had anyone come forward. But it wouldn't shock me. Yeah. So what I'm going to say to you now, right here, is that E.A.T. Saki was blowing out Ida's back, yeah, and his son was blowing out the back of Ida. I forget if it was Jeremy or the other one. But when Ida started being a pred, she started sleeping with E.A.T. Saki's son from the age of, like, he was in like secondary school, 12 years old, big grown-ass woman. She's like 9 years older than him. So there's PDFs in there, women preds. I don't think you understand. There are children's lives who are at risk. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like there's single mothers in there. There's single mothers in there that don't have no support, don't have no family network. Their children are being around PDFs. They're severely indoctrinated. Please, if you guys have, if there are women out there who have tea on the pastors, there are ways I can protect you. If you need protection in these streets, because you're going to speak out, I can give you that protection, baby. Don't ever get it twisted. I can provide that street level protection for you, boo-boo. Who do I need to sleep with to get you protect? What gangbanger do I need to sleep with to get you protection? Don't play with me, baby. I'm willing to take it to the pits of hell. I don't care. I'll do what I need to do to protect my survivors outside in these streets. If I have to go back to my my ninja that runs Peckham, I'll do it, babe. I don't mind. If I have to break the celibacy for the sake of the collective, do you know what I mean? To the president, because that's all I have to do. Even that there's one young YN that's on me. Do you know what I mean? Like heavily. You know, all I have to do is just, I don't even need to let that one blow out the back. That one is just, I just let him take me to Novikov or, you know, somewhere in Mayfair so he can feel like the man, like show off. That one is just that guy is just Mayfair or Knightsbridge. That's easy piece of pie. Do you know what I mean? I just go like looking, God, you know, like absolutely. I mean, what 23 or 24-year-old is going to get the opportunity to be seen in Mayfair or Knightsbridge with this, baby? And I'm known there, like they know me. Do you know what I mean? Like I've just been in West, baby. I'm known in these streets. Are you all right? They know when they see me coming with a rich man, they're going to spend. They know that in Mayfair and Knightsbridge. Like I'm known. Like don't ever get twisted in these streets. I'm from the ghetto of Notting Hill Gate, baby. I was going to China Whites and doing up Mayfair and all of that when I was like 15. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when SPAC are trying to go Mayfair and Knightsbridge, it's given desperation. It's given I'm from the streets, the block, the hood. I came from poverty and I'm trying to look like I got something. I really don't like that because the West Mandem, you have to understand, that's what gives me, I think, the extra creme de la creme and je ne sais quoi, because the mandem that I was dealing with was obviously, it was West Ninjas and Northwest Ninjas, and then I was dealing with South London as well, and they're all hood royalty. But the thing is, obviously, when they were in South, because they're like on the roads and in the streets or whatever, I'm like the West girl, so they would take me uptown to show me off, or spend the money, go out in the clubs, this, that, and the third, because they've got the block 304s that they could just get their backs blown out in the car when because you know they're on the roads 24 hours a day, so just get their back blown out, get their banana, you know, get their banana seen to, like, do you get what I'm telling you, Jay? Why was I was I doing up all of this? But anyway, survivors, you're safe with me. Don't worry. If I have to come out of hibernation and retirement, do you know what I mean? To make it safe for you outside in these streets, it will be safe for you outside in these streets, baby. Do you know what I mean? Especially like, don't play with me. The young YNs, they love an older woman. I know in these church cults, you lot are severely indoctrinated. So they got y'all thinking that the older gal them are washed up, the young man them don't like us. But oh, baby girl, they love it because the Narnia is like an ocean. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like the older the berry, the sweeter the juice. Yeah. And we also don't have time to play games, especially like if you're a single mother and, you know, like who's got time when you get that childcare? All you're concentrating on is getting the back blown out continuously. So the man them, they love it. Don't ever get it twisted, chair. They just been telling lies in there. That's why they're all cheating in there, because they're marrying women that are it's arranged marriages, or they're marrying women that they think are going to make them look good or seen as more spiritual. And then when they get with a woman, she's laying there like a log. And this is a man that was a player, comes from a hyper-sexualized past, that had different women every day of the week. Oh, thank you, Kaz. Kaz said I'm a beautiful girl. Thank you, baby. Oh, I appreciate you, man. I love the collective so much. Guys, I am going to keep this one quick because I'm not going to lie. I do need to respond to a survivor. I'm going to just finish off this last bit. And then depending on how I feel when I come off, because remember I said to you, I am supporting survivors at crisis and critical need at the moment. And so what I will do is if I'm not too tired, I will come back. If I am tired when I get off the phone to the survivor, I will come back tomorrow. I will do a morning live, first thing in the morning, and then I'll do something in the afternoon, yeah? And I've got a few surprises for you tomorrow. Get ready. I'm feeling motivated. After Cardi B's reposted me, bitch, I'm just out here in these streets. I'm just like, baby, like, let me just take this content thing seriously, chair. Let me just be posted. You know, like Cardi B reposted me. So yeah, we need to just know that. I gotta be talking about that for a good month. Because I mean, how many people can say that Cardi B reposted them? Are you all right? Oh my God, Cardi B! I don't think I've processed it. Like the actual Cardi B, like the GOAT. Noah, the GOAT, the princess of rap, reposted your girl, and I was in the bed because she felt the energy. Because I'm not gonna lie, I had energy. Like when I heard Jeezy on the remix, are you mad? This is a legendary-ish. So the vibe, the energy was there, and she picked it up. She felt the vibe. She felt the energy, man. She felt the energy, real recognized, real chair. Gal like Cardi B, me and Cardi B, gal like us, were cut from the same cloth. You get me? Been that bitch before getting the money, before getting the fame. Hood royalty in the cut. Do you know what I mean? Are you all right? Are you all right? I'm gassed. Oh my God. Cardi B reposted me. That's just what it is, baby. All right, so let me finish this up and go speak to the survivor. I got a feeling that I'll probably be back, guys. But there's so much going on behind the scenes, guys, and I can't tell you. It's absolutely imperative that I stay focused. All right, so let me see. Let me give you one last one before, and then I'll be back. I might be back. Confidentiality norms. I'm going to finish this part. Confidentiality norms. Parishioners are taught to keep pastoral matters private. This secrecy shields abuse. You know, one of the pastors that was blowing out the back of one woman that he absolutely destroyed. She has to take 27 tablets just to live each day. After he finished blowing out her back, and it was done quite roughly, he then turned to her and said, "Thank you so much." Say like her name's Rose. "Thank you so much, Rose. Thank you so much for keeping my sin like a secret, like covering my sin." Because you know, there's that scripture that says, "Love covereth a multitude of sins." So what he was doing was using the doctrine to say, "Thank you for covering my sins, for allowing me to do this with you so I don't go into the world. I don't go into the world and my sins are seen and whatever." It's like I'm doing it with a holy sister within the church cult, even though I'm married, even though I'm this big bishop of whatever. And I want to let you know that that he probably was doing it with girls outside of the cult, but it's the manipulation. Do you know what I mean? Because these guys are schmegs addicts. They like guys, wherever, if you can think of the worst, most possible experience scenarios when it comes to vulnerable women, these pastors are doing it all. They're doing it all. Hey, I'm in Carish Church. I'm being pressured to go. I don't have many friends, but they are pressuring me to go and guilt tripping me. Oh, they're saying I don't want to go tomorrow. Yeah, it's true what Miss Al Rose said, though. We do need to be strict. Like, you need to say no. And you do. And because remember, I said to you, yeah, if you keep canoodling them and pea-footing around them, yeah, what's going to happen, my love, is that they're going to, because if you don't put those boundaries in place, they're going to treat you like a doormat, like a rug. They're going to be walking all over you and they're going to be treating you however. You need to be able to say no. If you want to buy yourself time to just think through how you're going to do this, what I would do is make something up. So tell them a family member's in hospital, your cousin's in hospital. I don't want to say all of the examples because you're going to use one tomorrow. A family member's unalived, your mum is unwell, your sisters, your uncles come over. Make something up, chair. Use excuses. Because let me tell you something, girl. The pastors, the ones in Caris, they're essayers and preds. Look, you got steps in there. Why are you there, sweetheart? You got a man that was on Tamello's bait out page with more than 10 women that came forward with allegations. It's not safe. Get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. I'm going to start offering a service. Guys, if people want me to speak to the Caris members or the First Love members or whatever, I will speak to them. You can put me on a freeway call, and when they hear my voice, they will leave you alone. Because I think it needs to get to that. If people have had enough and they can't do it themselves, I will be prepared to do it. Hi, oh, Michelle's gone. The second time saying no is always easier than the first. Take your time. When getting up on your own 2 feet. Yes. So that's why I'm saying what Miss Al Rose has said is right and what Noah has said is both right. Because you do need to have some balls and just be firm with them and just tell them they have them strict boundaries for them to leave you alone. But because the reason why they've targeted you and groomed you and you're in that cult is because of this. Because you lack boundaries. It's probably from trauma. You said that you're alone. You don't really have much fit. That's why they've targeted you, babe. So it makes it hard for you to, do you know what I'm saying? That's why they've done it, because they know someone like you is not going to be able to say no. You probably have a visible vulnerability on you. What do I mean by that? Single mothers have visible vulnerabilities. Michelle, I love you, baby. They have visible vulnerabilities so they can see that they're a single mother with their child. Similarly, there are survivors that have come to me and said, pastors have given them prophecies. You've had a hard life. I can see that you've had a journey. Prophetically speaking of a hard life, you've had pain in the pot. She's like, of course you can see that. It doesn't take a genius to work it out. You can smell the tobacco and the rum, the liquor on their breath as they're coming to evangelize and speak to them. It's just taken common sense. Like, you can see they're vulnerable. She said one of her friends that this survivor was with was so vulnerable, like even more vulnerable than her. She's like, Leah, like you could just see this girl in it, and you could see like she's been in care. You can see that she's vulnerable. You can see that she's, had like been abused by men. You can see it on her. And she said that she gets targeted on outreach all the time. These girls are targeted to the point where they're just like church cult hopping, and they feel bad because these gal them, they've got the purest hearts, That's why the men are able to use and abuse them, and people are able to walk all over them because they've got pure hearts. That's why I said to you, it's a blessing that I've got this dark side. I'm not going to lie. It's a blessing that I grew up in the hood. It's a blessing that I went out with GMs and unalivers. I'm not going to lie, because I would have been used and abused. Another pretty girl exploited and used and abused. But because the man them know, I may not be as strong as you, but trust me, I'm going to get one bang in, and that bang's going to be worth it. Trust me. That one hit is going to be worth it. Trust me. Even if I get bust up after that, trust me. That one bang that I get in, that's all I need, Chair. No matter what happens after that, at least, like I say, I fought. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I got my one bang in. And ladies, when you see a man, what we will usually do is get afraid and scared and run off and whatever. That's not what you do up. You just have to bang them. What I would actually suggest is hair in the throat. All right? And you just have to hit them as hard as you possibly can. All right? Because that will give you time to run. And then you got to sprint if you're ever in a situation like that. Aim for the throat and aim for the nuts. I am a university fresher and I befriended an usher. Thanks for the follows. And I befriended an usher. But I am going to do some videos like to show women how to protect themselves, because my brother's an MMA fighter, but he's locked up. They won't let him out at the moment. But he's taught me like some stuff to help protect myself and whatnot. I'm a university fresher and I befriended an usher from Caris. Was being told I will go to hell for not going to their society just because I didn't go for a week. Wow. Yeah, that's fair-based. That's fear-based tactics that they're using. They have very black and white thinking, so they use heaven and hell a lot, and then they use an invisible enemy. Soon you're gonna hear that it's the DEVIL that's stopping you from going, or that you're a DEVIL. And they were saying it's bad. I went clubbing with my flatmates. Babe, don't feel bad about going clubbing, because the same men that are preaching there on Sunday, they're also in the clubs. Remember I told you there was a guy that was blowing out my back after I got married that was very devout and doing up church going, and a leader. He was an elder in the church cult. So babe, they're in. If you go to LA Lounge on a Thursday or from Thursday to Sunday, if you go to LA Lounge at any of those times or Pair One, you will see all the church leaders in there and all of the single married husbands. Okay, you'll see them all in those clubs, the LA Lounge, Pair One. Do you understand? That's where they'll be, in the pubs in East London, down them ends there, Dagenham and all that. Oh my gosh, they would have used you for real, Leah, because you have such a big heart, loyal, and you're an empath. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But when the man them start hearing me open my mouth and talking about what I'm talking about, they're shooketh and afraid and scared. So whatever they had in their mind to do, they're always aware that there's gonna be someone popping up in a valley somewhere if you do me dirty. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I had to say to my ex last time, I had to tell him something, which I'm not going to say on camera, but I had to tell him, like, if you call me again, like, this is what's going to happen now, because I threatened you with the popo, you're not listening, innit? So, and I know your address, so this is the next thing, innit? If you call my phone again, A, B, C, and D is going to happen, and that's it. I'm not going to talk about it anymore, because you're making me feel uncomfortable. I don't want to hear you breathing down the phone to me. You know them ones, that the sound of your breath irritates me. So don't call my blood clot phone, in it. You're blocked. And you know these 419ers, they've always got a million phones. So I have to block this guy. Like every month, I was having to block about 3 or 4 numbers, because they've got so many numbers, haven't they? All right, guys. And they got these weird Leica mobile numbers, like, even when you block them. Like, I've got a ninja. I've blocked him about 1 million times. Even when I block him, he can still call me, because he's got some mad Leica Niger phone where his calls go through blocking. These Yoruba men, don't play with them, you know. Do not play with a Yoruba man. That's why, for me, a Yoruba man I would never settle down with. Well, you know I'm celibate, so I never would. I would just use them for money. Gal, them, don't fall in love with a Yoruba man. They can't be faithful. They're not faithful. There's something on that particular tribe or whatever. They just need to be, their women are right. They just need to be with their own women who are doormats. You know, they accept it. They're happy to, with the possibility of catching STIs, because they're really loose. They'll just be blowing you out bareback, and they got their wife and kids at home. Do you understand what I'm telling you? Absolutely no care. Absolutely no care. They just care about themselves. They just don't give a damn if they bring in. There's even been men, like, there's mistresses of some of these mega church cult pastors who have been blowing out the backs of these women whilst blowing out the backs of their wives, and they're impregnating their wives whilst blowing out the backs of their mistresses raw. So, you know, when these men are doing this, they can actually jeopardize. Imagine if that girl's got an STI, she's got something, can jeopardize like how their child comes out. They don't care. These guys are narcissists. No way, Yoruba men. They seem so calm though. That's the deception, babe. They are charming. They are calm. They are. Do you know what I'm saying, girl? But they will buy you. The Yoruba man, he will buy you, chair. Let me rephrase that. You need to be careful if you get with a Yoruba man that wants you, that wants ownership over you. Because if you get a Yoruba man that's rich and wants ownership over you, because I'm not going to say love, because they just love themselves, most of them, not all of them. I'm talking about the narcissists and the single married men. So the Yoruba man, if he's got the money, but most of them do though. I don't think I've met a broke Yoruba man. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they'll just trap you. Like they'll if they want ownership over you, they'll buy your life in such a way where it will make it difficult for you to be with any other man, because they will give you the soft life, and it will be hard for any other man that comes after that to match it. That's what the Yoruba man them is on. Yeah, when they really want you. They're dangerous, girl. You can be in a relationship with a Yoruba man and have no commitment. Do you know how many Yoruba man them are just got traditional? Do you know how many of them have got traditional marriages? No paperwork. The women don't have no paperwork, but they do put a lot of the properties and stuff in their name. In that case, make a prenup legally binding. They don't get, a lot of the uncles, they don't get married legally. They get married traditionally. They get married. They don't marry the wives. They get married. There's been women who have been married traditionally, and the man has married a British UK whitey woman. And the woman's been with them for like 20 years and they've left them for a whitey woman with a British passport. Babe, when I tell you, since I've started this, I've been hearing so many stories and so many, and it's like, I think because I was trying to get the content out and the light, I haven't had the chance to stop, because you got to remember, there's just one of me, guys. So my foot is always on the gas. I don't really do a break. The legal marriage is preserved for the mistresses. Ooh, country girl, you took it there. Ooh, country girl, you took it there, man. Country girl, why you doing that? I told you I gotta go. Girl, didn't I tell you that I needed to go? Why did you just do that? Yeah. The mistress, the one that they love. Their heartbeat. The one that makes them feel alive. The servant is there to serve them and do everything, because the mistress isn't. The mistress is usually fabulous. Do you know what I'm saying? She ain't cooking, she ain't cleaning. Just you are my servant. You are my servant. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Don't let these men take you for no pappy show. Your mother never gave birth to no idiot. Oh my gosh, not gonna lie, I really saw myself with one though. If I were to date one, I won't go in with rosy eyeglasses now, though. Thank you for warning us. Yeah, don't. Still date them. I mean, Yoruba men are romantic. But what I'm saying is a Yoruba man can come and present himself to you, be romantic, buy your life, get you everything. Anytime you want money, he will just give it to you like it's water. But he could be married with kids and you don't know about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what they're like. That's why they call them Yoruba. Because they can come to you, not tell you that they're married, not tell you anything about their life, act like this perfect gentleman, like make you believe that he's going to marry you, settle down with you. He could even marry you, babe. Like, that's how far they take it. They're just, I don't know. I just think that they're really weak for like a beautiful woman, you know. The Yoruba man, they love a beautiful woman. They really, really do. Yeah, they do love a beautiful woman. So I would just say, you know, with a Yoruba man, there's always a possibility that there are going to be others. There are going to be other women. And, you know, if that's something that you're fine with, then, you know, because the Yoruba man will expose you to like polygamy. A Yoruba man can turn your head so mad that by the time you find out he's married and stuff, you actually start to consider polygamy. So there's some that are very dangerous, girl. So Miss Al Rose, please be careful outside in these Yoruba dating streets. Yeah. All right, so knowledge, this is where I'm going to leave it, guys. Knowledge of psychology and body language. Many leaders study counseling, human behavior, and a little psychoed, enough to exploit vulnerabilities, mirroring, pacing, reading attachment and wounds. So they're actually pathological liars. So when they get that intel from you pouring out your heart and telling them all your business, which are real, because they would have got you to take down your boundaries and your guard and whatever. So you're telling them all your business. Now, that's how they're able to form the trauma bond. So now they're using that intel to study you and maintain control over you, whether that's through siphoning your energy and repaying you monetarily wise, but he's actually draining and sucking the life source out of you. Some of these guys that operate as warlocks as well can use your uterus and your private parts to do schmegs magic. And that helps them to get more wealthy. So another thing is, how you got to look at it, ladies, is if this man is schmegally intimate with you, yeah, your energy is expensive. This is why you need to get spiritual and you need to understand about energy and stuff, because he's siphoning your energy, your light, and then he's transferring and manipulating that energy to materialize that or manifest that into wealth, this and that and the third. Even if it's that he's in a miserable marriage and just seeing you brightens his day, makes him more productive, so he's able to go in with a smile on his face, you know, win that business deal, whatever it is. You need to know your worth. And say like he's won a business deal and he's flipped it and he's made 500,000, he's made 200 grand in profit, and then he's given you 2 grand. Oh, I just wanted to thank you. I'm just going to give you the £2,000. Here's the two. You'll be thinking, oh my God, like he rewards me for positive behavior. But he's got that 5. He's just flipped and made 200K. That man could easily give you 50 grand, 50 bags. He could easily say to you, here's 70 bags, sit on it, sit on this. Where is the properties? Not putting no properties in your name. He's not giving you no large amount. He ain't doing nothing. All he's doing is siphoning and taking your energy. He's taking the piss. These mega church pastors make bread. They make so much money. They make more money than footballers. Guys, there'll be times we're in the service and they're like, I see 10 of you. I see 10 of you here that can give £10,000. Come to the front. There's 20 people here that can give £1,000. That kind of money. Yeah. So what do they do with the money? Sorry, I can't be drawn out right now. They do many different things with the money, babe. Use your imagination. All I'm going to tell you is that they make too much money for their own good. Yeah. Reading between the lines, chair. Social capital and network control. They can manipulate, church gossip, characterize complaints as unstable or sinful, and punish dissent via spiritual censure or social exclusion. And also they silence the victims, and they can manipulate like elitist groups and circles because they have the power to give people silent treatment, to brand them as harlots, 304s, Jezebels, whatever, because they have control over the setting. And lastly, ritual and sacred setting. The setting itself, altar, prayer, private rituals, private meetings, counseling. And when a woman has been around for a long time and she's trusted, and she'll be around the pastor all the time, he'll be driving her. It's usually they usually sleep with their secretaries, assistants, TSAs, or any women that are working closely with them. Usually they're sleeping with them. And that's why they talk so much about, like, it's all projection, about women not dressing schmexily. Like, you know, all of the onus is put on the women, that accountability. It's a woman's fault if they have schmex because they're sleeping with the women in there, guys. So it's a projection. They want you to think that it's your fault, and they want you to be accountable because they're blowing out the backs of the women. So the prayer, the private life, it's all ritualistic. It's used to sanctify illicit contact, creating cognitive dissonance that blurs abuse into holy experience. So what the women that have been getting their backs blown out by these men, what I'm seeing, that there's a reoccurring common pattern, that they've described the schmegs as very ritualistic, controlling. There's one case where the man has wanted to do things in a certain way, and then afterwards he will blame the woman for making him fall into sin, will put hands on her. As I've said to you, will create a situation where he'll put hands on her, and then so he can leave. He doesn't have to give that aftercare. And then it's also punishment to the girl. Guys, this is deep. They'll do things like that. They, like the women have said, they just disappear. They'll just give them silent treatment. They won't hear from them for a while. I would make that, or call that, pet pred. Yeah, y'all. So I'm gonna end on this, guys. I'm gonna have to go and call this survivor. I may be back. If I'm not back tonight, I'll be back first thing tomorrow morning, and we will continue. This is gonna be a series that I'm doing. It's gonna be in parts. I'm gonna be on live daily doing up this series. Thank you for the follow. I will be going live on one of my main accounts. But if you followed me on here, please can you follow me on my main account, Leah Lauder 7. I have to have 8 accounts just to speak my truth. Instagram, I'm going to go bye, love you, because my battery's only on 20%. I have to have 8 accounts just to speak my truth, guys. I'm like the Jaguar of mega church cults, okay? When I first started speaking out, they got my first account lock off permanently, yeah? I've been fighting. I get back up. I rebuild the accounts. I've been fighting tirelessly and effortlessly for nearly 2 years now. I don't get paid for this. I don't get anything out of this. This is purely off the back of the relationship that I've built, the connection that I've built with these survivors. The collective are such beautiful people that I cannot leave. We can't. All we've got is each other. No one cares about us. No one cares about us. And I want to let you know that the pastors and the mogs, that they're abusing really and targeting really vulnerable women that society don't care about. Society would see in a certain, like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, they're very smart with the women that they target and use and abuse. Okay. So I just want to say I love you all. Thank you, Noah. Guys, keep your notifications on because you might see me here in a couple of hours or you might see me on later. What do you think about First Love? Oh, First Love's a mess. First Love's a schmegs cult. That's what I've been talking about. I've been talking about the pastors blowing out the backs of women, babe. Like EAT Saki's son was a minor. He's 12 years old. LPI has been blowing out his back since he's 12, allegedly. And she was sleeping with EAT Saki and the son at the same damn time. What more do you need to hear, babe? Do you know what I mean? It's YouTube, I'm out. They're probably trying to report me and keep me on. I know, Miss Rose. I might see you later. TikTok, I'm out.